crash that led to another man being thrown into Whiskey Bay. Police reported on March 16th. And that's as much as I'm going to read. Welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey, so you don't have to, but you probably should. You probably are, and that's why we like you. I just want to say we probably got some new listeners this week. Matt Porter, ADHD Whiskey Dude, is a huge favor. Big shout out, and told people if you don't listen to Chill Filter, you're kind of dumb. So thanks for at least not wanting to be dumb. I do want to make sure that the bar is set appropriately high. If you took one of our best shows, edited it down, like all the best parts, and the best show to like 10 minutes, like Matt kind of does, we're probably not even that great.
Nah.
No,
but,
Matt does it well. What?
But we're very much similar to him, very non-linear, I'd say.
No, you're right. We meander. You ander.
We all ander.
We meander. All right. Yeah. We got that in common. You know, we're not just going to talk whiskey. You're going to throw in some stuff there too.
Yeah. Some interesting diversions and
if Mitzi
digressions.
Doesn't like it. He can go suck an egg.
Yeah, but as Matt said, maybe listen to 3 or 4 episodes, and you're hooked.
Yeah. That would be it. Yep. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, especially if you're a new listener, hit us up on Instagram. That's where we're most active. We love hanging out and talking. It was a good week for talking with folks. We really enjoyed some of the conversations, as well as if you really like the show and you want to contribute to it, patreon.com/chillfiltered. That's enough of the business. Here's the podcast. Cole, my dear friend, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm sipping the second to last pour of my Redbreast 21 because I didn't drink yesterday. I try not to drink during the week, but sometimes I do. But I try not to. And today is a Friday, but it's the weekend. We're recording on a Friday this week. It's been interesting how we've been recording lately, but we're figuring it out. We're making it happen. We haven't missed an episode, I think, since you've been co-host.
Yeah, we haven't with episodes where you've been on and I haven't, or I've been on and you haven't, but we haven't missed putting an episode out. Not even by accident.
That's
like now it's like, it didn't upload right. We put them out early.
That's been over 2 years.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what is it? 200th episode coming up.
Yeah, big
in a month.
0.
And Cole and I, we've talked a little bit. We don't know exactly how to celebrate this, but if you guys got any good ideas to celebrate 200 episodes or want to contribute in some way, like let us know.
We're leaning towards YouTube Live full episode. So, and if you're into that, let us know. If you want us to do that, let us know.
If you're out of that, let us know.
You're sucking egg. No, okay.
You miserable sod.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. So anyway, how you doing? Good week?
Yeah.
You have much better Friday after work vibes today than you did last week.
Yeah. Well, no, was that whatever it was, the last time we did it. Yeah, I was kind of worn out and stuff. But it's been good. I'm trying to think. So one of the cool things, and I'm not going to go into details for the sake of privacy of people, but I found out that one of my jewelry customers is a multi-billionaire, which is cool. And I'm going to leave it at that. And so, yeah, figuring that out, or not figuring that out, like jewelry has been going well. I've been keeping.
Did you just sell multi-billions dollars worth of macaroni?
Oh, that'd be killer. If I only sold all their money's worth of macaroni jewelry. No, it's been good. Like, I don't want to oversell because I don't have as much time as I used to with this new job. Because with my last company, it was like I worked from home and I got off at 3 and Beck didn't come home from daycare until like 5:30. So it gave me plenty of time to just crank out jewelry in the studio. These days, it's like I raise my prices a little bit so I don't get as many orders. And I do get enough to kind of keep myself busy when I do have a moment. Sometimes when Beck's asleep and stuff, I'll work in the studio these days. But yeah, that's been good. I'm trying to think of work. Yeah, work's been great. And then what else is going on? Oh, Marco and KC and his fiance will be visiting my wife and I this week. So shout out to Marco and KC. Yeah, so him and his fiance in town. And yeah, excited to see them, excited to hang out with them. And yeah, I'm just living the life. I'm taking off a few days next week too with that. And then on top of that, when Marco and his fiance Jordan, who also might be a listener, when they come to town, my parents will come in like as they overlap. They'll overlap by a day basically. And so I'm excited to see my parents. I'll take some days off for them too. So next week, the work week, I'm taking Wednesday to the next Tuesday off. So 5 days off of work, that is. And yeah, I'm going to have some fun. It's going to be a great week. I'm excited to, one of the cool things I'm hoping to do is to renovate or start the renovation on my attic. And my dad's kind of a big, like, he's a construction engineer and
nice. Yeah.
He is like project manager. Like he just knows what to do with renovating an attic if you're into that kind of thing. Like he knows exactly what he's going to do.
That's
so
awesome.
I don't know if I've even told him what I want to do yet with it, or even that want to.
Is that where you're going to put like the podcast studio?
I think so. And then yeah, with that, that's a great idea. No, I think I'm kind of between just a lounge, like a speakeasy type bar up there. But I
can double.
Yeah, I think so. And it would be classy looking. So the first steps, basically, I don't expect to finish anything while he's here. I just want to walk through kind of what I need to do, especially starting off. So yeah, he's going to be like, all right, you're going to want to buy these 2x4s. And he's going to guide me along with that, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. So. I think honestly, the best renovation you could probably do on an attic is just no renovation. Lots of boxes, junk. Yeah. One box in particular is going to have a treasure map from Chester Copperpot. And within that, you let your children have a little Goonie adventure someday.
Is that what the Chester Copperpot, is that a Goonies reference?
Yeah, that's the captain of the ship.
I have no idea. It's been so long since
One-Eyed Willie? Chester Copperpot plays in it somehow.
Yeah, that's good to know. I didn't even know that was a
One-Eyed Willie was the captain of the ship. Chester Copperpot. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Now we take a walk. I'm going to have to look it up.
Well, someone's going to be like, that is inaccurate.
And I know who it's going to be.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my life. How are you doing? What's going on with you while I sip some Redbreast 21?
Life is good. It'd be better if I figure out this Chester Copperpot. So I'm on spring break now, so I got a week off here. And yeah, I got some projects going on this weekend. I'm super excited. So we're having some friends over tomorrow, and just gonna go tri-tip homemade French fries.
Nice.
Keep it kind of chill. But Costco had a sale on some pork belly. So I'm gonna do some pork belly burnt ends, and
nice.
I'm excited for that. Like, I'm really excited for spring weather.
Yeah. It's supposed to be getting nice in Boise.
Yeah, it's been pretty. We got 2 really cold weeks, or cold week and a half in March. Gotcha. So it was like, rah. And then we had like probably a handful of days where it's like sunny enough to be like, it's really nice outside. Yeah. So it's supposed to get that way soon. But some projects wise, we can finish up some painting. Nice. Maybe replace a few light fixtures. And it's fun too because Chelsea's actually got the week off, so we're gonna try to hit up at least one day at Tree Fort Music Fest downtown in Boise.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and like
any big names?
Nothing that I'm super excited about. Like she's got a couple bands she really wants to see, like Typhoon and someone else that I've never really listened to. The one band I wanted to listen to and wanted to see is We Were Promised Jetpacks.
Nice.
But
they're in town?
They're coming to town. They're playing on Sunday, but it's an 11 p.m. show. Chelsea has to work the next day.
Rough.
And so it's like a whole day pass. You can't just pick and choose shows. So the whole day pass is like $100. And I'm like,
you should keep those kind of festivals. I don't know if it's actually right to do this, but sometimes people will just hand off their bracelets or something.
True. But
is that right?
I'm an old man. Like 11 o'clock. It's like, I don't.
Yeah, that's real.
Like I don't mind. I don't mind
for that band.
I don't mind finishing. They're big too.
Are they the headliner?
No. I don't know. I don't even know where they fall in the lineup. But I mean, like 11 o'clock starts not a headliner. Headliner's like 9.
Oh wow! So it's like
I don't mind finishing a show at 11. But I'm an old man. I don't want to start a show at 11, especially when my wife's got to work the next day, and I got to watch kids. So it's like, yeah,
that's a hard one. Well, if it were the other Scottish band and that were still going, I bet you'd go.
I'd absolutely. Yeah. I'd even see the I do feel bad that I'm not going to watch, but yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen We Were Promised Jetpacks?
Yeah, I've seen them a couple times.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, as long as there's that too.
So I have seen. But the one thing about it though is Andy Moynihan, who was guitar synth player for Frightened Rabbit, is like the touring. Or I don't know if he's just touring or if he's in the actual band now. So it would be kind of cool to see him.
Scottish Switcharoo.
The old Scottish Switcharoo.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. When is that? You said this weekend? Next weekend?
Yeah, it starts on. Maybe it doesn't start till Wednesday. So no, I would have to work the next day then too. So no, I'm not going to do it. Starts next on Wednesday. So anyway, we're trying to. I don't know. Like spring is in the air, man.
Yeah.
The birds, the bees, the mamas and the papas.
Yeah. The Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah. It's all there, man.
Yeah. So it's time for spring. How are we doing on time? We're still like doing good on time. I think
we bullet trained the breeze, man.
We kind of did.
We did.
What's new? And it's been a whole week too. It
feels like it's. I tell you, we've had so many fun interactions. Like I was surprised it was time to record already. Like it's been a quick week. Is that what I want to say? I don't know.
It's been time flies when you're having fun kind of week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess it's time to go on a quick spring walk.
Might as well.
Yeah, and then we'll get to what we're drinking today, which we haven't mentioned yet. We are drinking Weller Full Proof due to the votes on Instagram. It's so hard. So we record on StreamYard, and it's funny because it's normally when you're doing like video, you're inverted so that you see it as a mirror, basically.
What if we did that?
I don't know. I don't like it. It's more intimate when it's closer. So Robby did a full screen of each of us, split screen basically, but I like it closer split screen where it's like we're talking to one another, even though that's not what it looks like. We should turn our heads like.
Hi, Cole.
But yeah, let's set it to break, and we'll be back, and we'll start talking a little bit about the history of Weller Full Proof. So here we go to break. And we're back from break. We went on a great springtime walk. The walk was good. There were pastel colors everywhere and such like that, which is spring. You know what I like about spring?
Faux grass that comes in Easter baskets.
No, but I could get into that, I'm sure.
Real grass that comes in Easter baskets.
You know what I'm saying? No. What is it? Cadbury mini eggs. I could eat 2 bags of those and not even regret it. Like, oh man,
I take a bite of a Cadbury and I love it, but I instantly regret that.
Really? What does that look like?
And it's followed quickly by another bite because they're so good. But it's like a candy that just sits heavy.
Really?
Oh, they sit so heavy. That cream is just.
No, I'm talking about the mini eggs, not the like cream filled eggs. I'm talking about
what goes on with. I've never had. What goes on with the Cadbury mini egg?
They're like M&Ms, like they're like candy coated, basically little eggs. You know what I'm talking about? You've totally had these. They've been around for
a robin's egg, like a malted milk ball.
No, yes, but like better chocolate than like Hershey's or M&Ms or anything like that. It's so good.
I have not eaten them. You like Peeps?
So sad. I could eat a Peep, maybe not 3 of them.
Yeah, I like Peeps. Have you ever roasted a Peep over a fire?
No, but I've microwaved plenty.
Yeah. I don't mind Peeps. I know a lot of people hate them. I don't mind them.
What else is it? Okay, we better get to the history. I guess we're making
the nice
up
thing
for
about going short on the BS is we know we're going to make up for it somewhere along
exactly.
the way.
So I wanted to give a shout out this week to just want to say Baller Supreme status to Sean Ciaro for being a Baller Supreme.
Oh, geez,
and that's it. I'm sad I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, I thought you were. That's why I wasn't going for it. Jeez, Louise.
It didn't even cross my mind, to be honest. Another sip. Another sip of the Redbreast 21. because I didn't celebrate yesterday. Well, it was St. Patrick's Day or Billy Corgan's birthday. Anyway, this is not our
St.
first
Corgan's Day.
St. Corgan. I like that. I'm gonna use that. This is not our first Weller product on the podcast. It's actually our 6th, if you can believe that. 6th. We did 3 separate Willie LaRue's already. We did a 2015 first, and then a 2020, and then a 2009. And we did a Weller Special Reserve, and we did a Old Weller Antique 107. Most recently was the William LaRue Weller 2009. So let's talk about William LaRue Weller, the man, and the company of Stitzel Weler. That's basically what I wanted to talk about today. Not too long a history. It might be a short episode. Who knows? Some of this repeats a little bit, but a little more in depth than our first William LaRue Weller episode, which was like episode 28, I want to say, which was a long time ago. Anyway, William LaRue Weller started up a liquor wholesale business called W.L. Weller and Sons in the 1840s, actually. So it's been a while. In 1893, W.L. Weller and Sons had been in business for about 50 years. That's math. When they are at that point, when they hired a man named Julian Van Winkle, also goes by the name Pappy.
What?
They weren't exactly whiskey producers, though. They didn't like make whiskey, but they bought and sold whiskey from different companies, different distilleries, and then they'd sell it. And so just a few years after, about 3 years after, William LaRue Weller retired in 1896. He sold his shares of the company to 2 guys, Alex Farnsley and Julian Pappy Van Winkle, the guy who he took on as a sales kind of guy.
Prince Julian.
Prince Julian.
He likes to move it.
I like to move it.
Yeah, that's
Is
Prince
that the
Julian.
name of the guy in the movie?
Oh, yeah, it's Prince Julian.
Prince Julian. I like that. I never liked the name Julian for a man, though.
I love the name for a small cut up carrot.
Yeah, Julianne. Yeah, anyway. So they basically got enough shares to have a controlling interest in the company. And on their one of their biggest producers distilleries was a distillery called A.P.H. Stitzel Distillery. And they bought a lot of their bourbon. And eventually they ganged up together and merged to make Stitzel Weler, the company.
Ooh, okay.
It was originally founded.
Was that what it says in your research? They ganged up?
I literally wrote ganged up and merged.
Hey, what are you doing this week? I don't know. You want to gang and merge? Yeah.
Like, come on, gang. Bro. Let's gang up. Yeah. So founded in 1935. I can
gang, but I'm not going to merge.
Yeah. Well, it's
when I was in college, I merged.
It's hard not to merge when you're ganged
all
up.
The time when I don't mind gang. I just don't want to merge as much.
You got to be intentional. Intentionality. Anyway, founded in 1935, the merger of W.L. Weller and Sons and A.P.H. Stitzel Distillery. And I looked this up yesterday, but I didn't write it down on my notes. But I believe it was, what's that city? Oh, Shively. It was
Lively.
Lively and Shively. Exactly. I'm so proud of you. But both companies were APH Stitzel and W.L. Weller were actually 2 of the, I believe, 13, or was it 10? Don't take my word on this, but of the very few distilleries that were producing during, producing during Prohibition. So they were medicinally producing.
Okay.
And the distillery itself was just built up by that guy Alex Farnsley, Arthur Philip Stitzel, A.P.H. Stitzel, and Julian Van Winkle Sr. When Stitzel and Farnley died, Julian Van Winkle took over and passed the distillery on to his son Julian Jr.
JJ.
They sold many different brands, but 2 of them that we know these days is Old Fitzgerald and Old Weller. As their weeded bourbons, both of them were. And the company was sold a ton of times after that. It changed hands oodles of times until I believe it was eventually bought out by Diageo. Don't quote me on that. But the brand Weller and like Old Weller and just the Weller name was bought out, and the Van Winkle brands were acquired by Sazerac. At least Weller was in 1999. So they took over that. And it's funny, like 2 or 3 years later, they were selling Weller 19. So it didn't take long for them to use it. Sometimes sometimes companies will buy the name and like not use it for like 10 years or sometimes longer.
Age it. It's got to be age.
Well, I mean, like it's just a name. Like they could just throw it on anything and be like, all right, this product we got laying in the back that's been aging. Yeah, we're just gonna call it Weller. So anyway, and in that case, if you think about it, Weller 19 was started in, I believe, 2002 or 2001. Don't quote me on that. I believe it's one of the two.
You're so self-conscious, right?
Dude, yeah, no, that's a funny thing. And so Weller 19 was well before Weller was bought by Sazerac or Buffalo Trace, basically. And so they had been aging stuff that had no name until Weller was slapped on it. So there are some legends about Stitzel Weler juice. People are like, dude, you don't know what you've been drinking until you drank old Stitzel Weler juice, like the original stuff. I don't know about that. I knew a guy at the bar I worked at that was just like, dude, you've never had a whiskey. And like I told him what I drank and he's like, yeah, those things are amazing, but you've never had a whiskey. And I had actually tried some Stitzel Weler juice. I had Old Blowhard, which was a 27-year orphan barrel, which I believe was from Stitzel Weler. But it was all right. I mean, it was overaged. A 27-year bourbon is a little overaged. So I don't know if it was, I hadn't tried a whiskey until I tried Stitzel Weler. But anyway, that's the history of the Weller brand. What we're drinking today, Weller Full Proof. So you think to yourself, well, first, this was announced and added to the Weller lineup in 2019. Is it uncut when they call it full proof? Not necessarily. There's a few terms that don't seem to mean barrel proof. Batch proof and full proof are some of them sometimes. You'll see things like this and 1792 full proof, and they're not barrel proof. It just means they're a higher proof product these days. And so this is not, like I said, a barrel proof, but it is 114 proof. So it's up there for sure. And every bottle of Weller Full Proof is 114 proof, not like the cast strength varieties that have batches of different proofs. This is always going to be 114. Aged at least 12 years. That's pretty awesome for a Weller product. I mean, Weller 12 is like coveted in itself, but this is like Weller Full Proof or Weller 12 Full Proof. So aged, I said that. Buffalo Trace's Wheated Mash Bill. You'll see Pappy Van Winkle and Billy LaRue and stuff like that. Blue label, dark blue label, nice looking bottle, and there's gold on it and stuff.
Green is rye, blue is full.
Yeah. And I haven't sipped from this bottle. You can see it's pretty much, only one sample was sent.
Is the rest of it right here?
That's where it is. That's where we meet up. And I waited from 5:45 to 10 a.m. in line for this. So about 4 hours and 15 minutes if you do the math right.
Did you say 400 hours?
4 hours.
It almost sounded like you said 400.
No. I wouldn't have waited that long. My time is not worth that long. Yeah. That would have been over 2 weeks. That's a long time. It's like 2.5 weeks.
I'm not doing the math.
Yeah.
You're doing, that's the math.
I know. That's like one.
That, you know what? Hey, listeners, we're going to go ahead. Comment below. How many weeks and days do you think 400 hours is?
Yeah. Comment in
opinions,
the comments.
Please.
Yeah. Bring it on. And no inaccuracies.
One guy who's got a calculator is like, huzzah! I'm going to win this.
I'll be the first. So the total wine price, or at least the retail price, is about $50, but on the secondary, it's hundreds easily.
That's oodles of dollars.
Yeah, oodles of dollars. And one other thing, it is non-chill filtered. Hey, that's the name. That's not the name. Dang it, I blew it. All right, let's give it the old cork pop, and here we go.
The old cork pee.
The old cork pee. Ooh, that was not as plunky as I expected it to be, but good on you. Good on you, bottle. All right, here we go. I gotta keep it in the center of the screen.
It's got some dark color on it too.
Yes, I saw one website say mahogany in terms of color.
Terracotta roof tiles.
Yes,
if you ask me.
exactly. All right, we got 2 things poured.
Ooh.
Now I got to put the cap back on, or the cork. And for the record, it is a Weller bottle, but it does not have a cork. Some Weller bottles do have a cork.
So is it synthetic?
No, it actually looks real.
Wait, it does not have a cork or a
screw top?
What is it? Screw top?
Weller Antique usually has a screw top. Same with Weller full or Special Reserve.
No, Weller Antique's got a.
You're right. No, it's just Weller Special Reserve, and I believe Weller 12. I have a Weller 12. Or I had a Weller 12 bottle that was a screw top.
Okay, so right off the bat, I get like strawberry fruit leather, like very. I mean, it could almost like a fruit punch. Even it's like a really fruity sweetness.
This is. I'm sad to say it, but I just love Buffalo Trace products. Because mash bill number 1 and
they're
mash
no
bill
Del
number 2,
Bach, but whatever.
Yeah. No, mash bill number 1 and mash bill number 2 and the weeded are all just fruity. Like they're just, and like I'm getting, and I've gotten this before on the weeded variety or the weeded mash bill, green apples. And I love like a green apple taste. And and you're right about the strawberries. That's there. It is a very, it's still bright fruit. It's not like dense plums or like, what do you call it? Like, what's the prunes or anything like those kind of fruits? No, it's like very bright, appley, strawberry, stuff like that on the nose. So what do you think?
Nose, it was really bright. I like the nose a lot. Took my first sip. I'll go for my second, see if things change. But kind of underwhelming right off the bat. Heat comes in late. Mouth feels nice. It's not super viscous. It feels really light on the mouth. But there's stuff going on, but not a ton that really sticks out. Like the nose wise, like I was like, wow, this is like berries. This is like fruit punchy, sweet. But nothing's really sticking out like that on my palate.
I've had this before at a bar, and it was fantastic. It was like at that same bar I had tried for the first time the EHT Amaranth and Weller Full Proof, and the Weller Full Proof blew Amaranth out of the water. And Amaranth wasn't like the craziest of E.H. Taylor releases and like the best of E.H. Taylor releases, but I'm kind of with you. There's something that's not blowing my mind about this one yet.
It's good. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
The nose was so much better.
Yeah.
I don't want, and I'm okay to disagree with this, but it's funny how I really enjoyed it the first time, and this time it's like different.
Is it because you like the people you were with the first time better?
Never. Never.
And it's not bad. It's just expectations were high. I think that's one of the things.
I think so. I think I'm with you.
We were talking with Sean today, and I was like, I think I got a hubba. You get more hubba to what's when you're not expecting something, right? Like when an acquaintance brings you a Chuck E. Cheese pizza, you're like, what? You brought me a Chuck E. Cheese pizza? You went
all the way to Chuck E. Cheese, went inside and picked up this pizza for me?
I did not expect that. Hubba to what?
Yeah.
Right. This is the opposite. This is my anniversary, and my wife shows up with a Chuck E. Cheese pizza, and it's like, yeah, that's what you do to celebrate an anniversary.
You're like,
not overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
But she shows up with 2 Chuck E. Cheese pizzas, like, hubba to what?
Hubba to what?
This
hubba,
is a one
hubba.
Chuck E. Cheese pizza to what?
What was it? One of the phrases I wanted to always say to Heather in a very joking way is like, meow. Hubba hubba, meow.
I have a coworker, and so one of the things I do as a special ed teacher is I'll go with my kids into general ed classes, and she's a health teacher, and she was, I don't know if she's having a bad day or what, but or like just classroom management wise, just had to be stern. And this one kid goes, "Meow."
Oh,
and she stopped. Whoosha! Head whips around. She's like, "Get out of my class!" And the look on her face, the kid was like, "Yes!" And he just like, "Oh man."
gone.
So meow can go two ways.
Yeah, it's true. But if you say it like, if you like really lengthen it, you're like meow, like it's so meow, like that's different. But if you're like meow,
so the twins used to watch this like cartoon on YouTube. It's like these cats that do stuff. I can't remember what the names are, but like whenever they like do something right, they're like, "That's so awesome, me wow, me wow." So sometimes I find myself going, "So awesome," and the twins yell, "Me wow, me wow." But
I hope they stop watching that show, Me Now. No, that's a terrible joke.
Now that's what was now that's what I call music. Those are those old things. Yeah. So nose, I keep going back to the nose because the nose is awesome on this. I love the nose.
I can't believe this. And maybe this is the thing when you get a 12-year plus high proof thing, maybe it is almost a batch thing.
Because maybe it's just something that needs to air a little bit, right? Like,
but
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, I enjoy it, but I am very underwhelmed on the palate.
Uh-oh. I can't find my Glencairn blooper.
Dropper.
I gotta do the
old
drop
Cole. Into the
old Cole J.
Yeah.
Go to the lid, go to the whiskey.
I really hope this gets better with a little water because this isn't leading in a good direction. I'm so surprised by this though. And like I said, maybe they're different batches basically.
Yeah, it could be. Water wise, the nose is still really good with water.
When you gave your first notes on the palate, I was like, I am not going to be swayed by what he said. And I'm going to say I'm not swayed by what you said. This is a little underwhelming. And I mean, like some Weller products are great. And Weller 12, for example, or even Weller Special Reserve, fantastic pour. And maybe if we do a few drops, we'll bring it down to like Weller, old Weller Antique 107. Maybe a few more drops. We'll bring it down to the next one or whatever it is.
Have you sipped yet? So I'm going to say nose wise, still super sweet, more butterscotchy, like a little more caramely, butterscotchy, a little less fruity, a lot less fruity. Water is a little bit better, although I do get like a bitterness towards the end. Not bad, but at the front end, super warm, mouthfeel, more viscous. It's really warming. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a second sip here.
I think it's a better palate altogether. This is good for me. Because like some people have said, and they're right, I usually give Buffalo Trace products, especially the ones with some clout, I give them great ratings. This one's got the clout, and it's Buffalo Trace product. Whew. I am let down so far.
With some water, I got some heat.
Really?
Woo! Yeah, I got some vapory hot towards the end. Bitterness the second time on the water was not there. So it just kind of, I think I was a dunce. Excusez-moi. But still, like, so I think it's palate-wise is better with water. But it's I mean, nothing really. I mean, it's good. It is still good.
Yeah. So the palate for me, I haven't talked about my notes on the palate, but it kind of just drops off. It's sweet for a half a second.
It doesn't last a long time. Yeah.
And then it just like is done. And it's as if I didn't drink anything, to be honest. And there's a tiny bit of bitterness.
Well, the officer won't believe that.
Who?
Listen, sir, officer, I drank Weller Full Proof, and it's like I didn't drink anything.
Like, hey,
yeah, you're going to the tank, buddy.
Hennigan Scotch. Let's just say it's our little secret. You know the reference? Please tell me you know the reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seinfeld.
Yes.
Today, I had a professional learning development thing. You had to choose a meme.
Oh,
and
nice.
the meme that you chose would put you at a table. And the first meme I chose was an Office meme. And then there was a Seinfeld one. I was like, I think I'll fit in better with the Seinfeld people.
Yeah.
And I
the
did
Office
fit in
people are
better with the
simpler
Seinfeld
people. People are going to hate me for saying that.
Well, I like The Office. I mean, it's fine. But Seinfeld people are kind of my people.
Yeah.
We're older.
Yeah, that's for sure.
More mature. Yep. All right, I'm gonna do my ice grenade.
What do you do? Because we said you used to say it's a tour instead of a tour. Do you say mature or mature?
I say mature. I say
Like
tour.
a regular person.
I'm going on a tour. I'm going on a tour of the mature building.
Wow.
What do you say?
I say mature tour. Yeah. It's a mature tour.
Now, what would you say if you went on a mature tour of the paper that was torn?
I would go on a mature tour of a torn paper.
Would you be torn about having not gone on it instead of the other?
I would be torn.
Okay. How do you say Oregon?
Oregon.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
How do you say the state next to California besides Arizona?
Nevada.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nevada.
Yeah, as it should be.
How do you say water?
Water.
Unless,
actually, shout out to Brad Leone, who I'd love to have on this show one day. This is come on. Water. Yeah. And shout out to I was actually the first channel that I ever subscribed to on YouTube was Bon Appetit with Brad Leone.
Shout out to Ben Klepzig, who was like, hey, is there any rhyme or reason to why you guys talk for so long after dropping your cubes? And
did he really say that?
It was something like that a little while back. It was like, no, we just get distracted.
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta give it to distracted.
Spin J leads to more conversation. Same kind of nose.
So
it's kind of non-present.
Well, I'm getting pretty appley. Like an apple cider.
Maybe I added too much ice. I did melt half a cube basically in here.
Yeah. So the nose for me has been different each time. But and the nose has been the best part each time too. So I'm getting like pretty appley right now.
This is not bad with ice. This specific one. I didn't get any bitterness, but it's still
ice is the best. And
I think still like not potent in any like flavor to me. Like it's better, it's a little bit sweeter, but I'm not like getting any notes at all. Like
yeah,
maybe my tongue is broken.
Oh man, you got to report that to the insurance after your little fender bender a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
he broke my tongue when he merged. No, I'm with you. I can see how there's not. To me, it's just with ice. I really like the ice. I would drink this with ice. This would be an ice pour only bottle, in my opinion. Actually, it would be pour it, sniff it for an hour, and then add ice. Because the neat nose is phenomenal. But ice wise, it's just really good bourbon, which it's not complex. There's nothing really. It's good bourbon on the palate.
Yeah, but it's not like I could drink so many bourbons over this.
But for secondary prices, like, am I gonna pay a secondary price just to have? Oh, it's a good bourbon.
Yeah,
right.
This is a letdown.
It's like I will pay extra for Chuck E. Cheese pizza. To me, this is like Little Caesars.
I would drink Buffalo Trace over this any day.
I would eat Chuck E. Cheese over this every day.
If you gave me Chuck E. Cheese every day, I'd eat Chuck E. Cheese every day. Probably more than I'd eat this.
The friggin' rat. Have you ever watched Sopranos?
No. I think we've discussed this.
You need to, Cole.
Did you ever watch Arrested Development?
We've talked about this. Yes, I have, except for the last season. And you say
don't watch
probably
the last
a good choice.
Forget the last season.
Yeah. You need to watch Sopranos. It is an HBO show, so you do
I don't
have
have
elements.
HBO.
You don't have HBO Max?
No. You can share with us.
I will not do that. I didn't. No, I find myself. Yeah. I love Sopranos. That's one show I will watch over and over again.
Speaking of watch over and over again, Peaky Blinders is pushed back to June. The final season, which is a bummer. I can't get over how not good this bourbon is.
It's not. It's good. It is good.
I'm pushing, not even saying that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's middle of the road for sure. It's not. I mean,
it's hard for me to believe too.
It's not. I mean, okay. So let me ask you this: what bad aspect have you had with this pour? What's bad about it?
The only notes I'm getting are from, like, the only pleasant notes I'm getting are from the nose. Like, everything else is like flat. Like, this is like, that's what I'd say about this bourbon is on the palate and the finish. It is just flat.
Whoops. Wrong pipe.
Or your
it's hot when it goes down your
gullet.
What goes to your lungs? Your windpipe?
Your bronchial tubes.
My bronchial tubes.
Totally.
You wanted to go down your esophagus, not your bronchial tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got a rating in mind?
Something is saying that way makes it sound like it's like a really bad word.
I want to say that's from Mike Myers movie where he's like a flight attendant, putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
If anyone wants this, let me know.
Ooh.
I mean, there will be a cost, whether that be bourbon or love and hugs.
Whoa. Or 10 pounds of flesh.
Yeah. Or 10 pounds of flesh. Yeah. I'm into that kind of thing.
You got your rating?
This is like 6.6 for me.
Okay.
I was expecting to love this. And not even like I was let down and had really high expectations. This is flat. This is a flat bourbon. But like, I can't fully put that review out there because I have had a really good pour of it before. But on this podcast, it was flat.
I think honestly, maybe you just need to let it air. Oh,
maybe,
yeah,
and it might get
air
better.
a little bit or something. Yeah. I don't know.
But it was opened and kind of aired out.
But I'm with you. It does fall flat. It's flat. It's a flat soda. No one wants to drink that. I mean, if you're thirsty, you might pick it up and sip it. I'm gonna go 6.8.
Okay.
I think really good nose.
Excuse me.
I got the hib ups here. Really good nose. But nothing else really stands out. Nothing's really that great. So yeah, 6.8.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on?
I guess so. I guess we got other segments of this show. One which I like to call Whiskey World News.
And we're back. It's time for Whiskey World News, part of the show where we read an article and we talk about it. We didn't write it. But we read it.
We're reading it.
And then we talk about it.
We can talk about it. This
one comes from WAFB, written by Josh Azun. And it's titled, Passenger Dies After Crash Over Whiskey Bay. Man thrown into water. Recovers. A passenger in a car that was hit on Activalacalala Basin Bridge has died as a result of a crash that led to another man being thrown into Whiskey Bay. Police reported on March 16th. And that's as much as I'm going to read. Because that was the best title of a whiskey article I could find. Ooh. And we shouldn't be laughing because someone passed away.
Yeah. But someone recovered, right?
They recovered. Cool. A week from now, when someone is hurt by this, what is your apology going to be?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you knew that guy.
You made me snot myself. I don't know. Why do we? Oh gosh. So I was like, Cole, this is the article, and he's like,
I was like, run with it.
I was like, I can't do it. He's like, no, go. And then it's like, oh,
Someone died, but there's a good question that follows from this.
if your bay was filled with whiskey, what bay? No, not what bay. What whiskey would you fill with your bay? And that leads us to, I guess, our this week.
And
if you had a
what would you crash your car into? What bay would you crash your? What whiskey of a bay would you crash your water or your car?
Yes.
Wow.
Which leads us into what whiskey would choose. Let's okay. We're gonna like move things around here. So first,
if you had a bay full of whiskey.
If you had a bay full of whiskey that you had to crash your car into, what whiskey would you put in the bay that you want to crash into? So we're doing what whiskey would you choose with what Whiskey World News.
It's gonna be a short episode.
It may not.
We're
no,
running.
We don't
average-ish.
ever.
Yeah. So do I get any choice ever to put in my bay?
You can fill your bay with whatever whiskey you want. Hey.
Okay.
That's
bay with a Y, friends. But you know, if you got a bay, you can pour
don't fill
whiskey
your bay
in their
with
mouth
whiskey.
if you're into that. Yeah.
Speaking of filling your bay with whiskey, my whiskey bay is Cole. And if we hit
$1,000 on Patreon.com, you can fill this bay.
His whiskey hole. Wait,
with Macallan 18.
Is it a butt chug called your whiskey hole? It's a bung.
Your bung hole.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you were going to crash your car into a bay full of whiskey, what whiskeys fill in your bay?
How big is my bay?
I'd have to ask you and Heather.
How big is my bay with a Y?
Oh, your bay with a Y? I don't know what the size of a typical bay is. It's slightly less than an inlet.
Do you know what would be a great future? What whiskey would you choose? What whiskey does your wife like or your significant other like?
Oh, my wife. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll do that later.
Yeah.
But this week's what whiskey would you choose?
What would you fill your bay with?
Crash your car into.
Oh man. I would, if I have a whole bay, I would be worried that it would go bad with the environmental, stuff. So I would keep a good but not great whiskey in there because I would want to drink a little of this from the bay. But if I'm going to crash my car into it, the oil from the car and the gas and stuff, it might make it go bad. So I only want to drink it for a short amount of time. I'm just going to fill it with Old Forester 86. Good, cheap, fill your bay real quick for a good price, and then crash right into it and sip the top layer of it off. So it's a lot to think about.
I am not so cool. I'm going to need your help. Can you help me with mine?
Uh-huh.
So often when I think about what you say about scotches,
the
Islas are typically pretty briny. Am I right?
Yeah, totally. Briny. Yeah.
So what's a briny Isla scotches?
You could go with Oban.
I'm going with
Bay.
Oh, that's what I'm going with. I win.
Nice. You're totally going to win. I forgot about that. Whiskey Bay. Little Bay.
That's what I'm going with. But either way, Cole's going to win this one because he came up with both answers. So anyway, you know what?
Oh, no, I gotcha. Yeah, I made up your answer. Yeah.
Yeah, you gave me my answer because I was just going for briny and you went something with a bay and so went briny and went with bay and then you got both answers. All right. So last week, our what whiskey would you choose? We were both drinking Redbreast 21. So we just said, you know what? Who's got the better beer?
And I love how it finished.
Oh my goodness. So it said, since we're both drinking Redbreast 21, whose jib do you prefer the cut of? What jib would you choose? This jib or that jib? And it came out friggin' perfect. 50% to 50%.
Yeah.
You like us
Thank
both
you for
equally. Voting. Golly, had you chosen a side, this might be our last episode.
Yeah, exactly.
We never would have reached episode 200.
But our listeners just know us.
So, and then we went into the more traditional question, what are you drinking on St. Patrick's Day? And we didn't get a lot of write-ins because people were just they were just so caught up in jibs.
Whatever, the St. Patrick's Day. I almost call it Old Fashioned Day. What?
St. Corbin Day.
Yeah.
Billy Corbin? Billy
St. Corgan
Corgan,
Day. Yeah.
St. Corgan Day. Markham Casey did write in though. Writer's Tears or Redbreast 12 cast strength. Brian Rapp, our good friend, with Jameson Stout finish. It's not great. I like, but the nose on that is the best banana I've ever had. I love it. Yeah. And then Bro Taskin asking us Glendalough, Irish double barrel, and maybe try and find a dram of Redbreast cast.
Hey, where's Joel and M09 been lately?
Yeah,
Joel Bradbury, I'm calling you out right now. Where you been, man? Where's Cabana? And where's Barley? And where's you? I want to know.
Oh, geez.
So
I hope we didn't crash into Whiskey Bay.
Oh, I hope it's not that guy. Dude, I'd be so sad. I would take it.
Yeah, this would be the worst episode we've ever had.
No, I'm sure Joel Bradbury is doing great. But Joel, hit us up. Why haven't we heard from you when you're Tasmanian butt? You know what I'm saying?
What do you have a life where you got to work and do stuff?
Forget that. So
and then secondarily,
shout out to our Australian listeners.
Most importantly, we said, what are you drinking on St. Corgan's Day? And Brian rapping with Billy LaRue Weller.
I love that for the record.
Bryce Meredith said, thought it was going to be Teeling, ended up with being Writer's Tears. A lot of people drinking
I think Bryce missed the first prompt and he thought the second was about St. Patrick's Day.
That makes sense. And
but either way, that's cool.
And then some guy named
a new listener,
C.S.E. Bullard.
C.S.E. Bullard.
I don't know. It said a whiskey smash. Happy birthday, Billy.
Hey.
So anyway,
that was me.
That is that.
Yeah.
It feels weird to be. Oh, what are we drinking next week? Are we doing an executive decision?
No, I want to put a silly one. We're gonna put up King Alexander III from Dalmore versus something lame.
That's the executive decision. Lame. We're gonna drink Pendleton the second time.
Yeah, Pendleton.
To see if Pendleton
gets any
miraculously
better.
Was not the most awful whiskey I've ever had that people love to buy.
Give me
Sounds good?
2 seconds. Okay,
no,
put it against
Pendleton.
Makers 101.
No, Makers. That's. I mean, no. We're gonna put it. Let's do. Because we want to drink the Dalmore. We've been trying to drink the Dalmore.
Let's do it against Old Forester Statesman. No, let's just do the Dalmore. We're doing the Dalmore next week. And I like how you call it the Dalmore. It's like the Macallan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, cool.
It's like the Ohio State University.
Well,
how's your bracket doing?
They won today.
Oh, did they? I had the other team winning. Loyola won, or not Loyola. Was it Loyola?
Yeah. And then
of Chicago or whatever.
The 102-year-old nun that prays for him. 102.
Wow.
And she prays for him before every game.
She didn't pray hard enough this time.
Well, hopefully she's here next year. So
I'm in the 85th percentile with my bracket right now.
Nice. So, it's a tricky year for we haven't even talked March Madness. That's the thing is this is dedication.
This is madness.
I have no.
This is Sparta.
I stretched and I kicked. I'm 41.
Yeah.
I have no basketball game on right now, which is like this time of year, this weekend. I'm not like I will have. I have my laptop. I have my iPad. I have the TV, and I bring in a second TV, and I watch every game that's on in the moment.
Same time. Wow.
And I'm not watching anything. You know why? Because I hope my love of spirits lifted Cole.
I hope that did Boise State win? No, Boise State lost.
No, Boise State lost.
They were also on my. I had them winning, so there goes the bracket busted. A lot
of people returning next year, so we could make a
nice.
Hopefully, get our first.
Dude, I would love to see Boise State win the championship. That'd be great.
They're not.
Who do you have winning?
Gonzaga.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's chalk.
Compton, so Compton, man.
And like this might be the year, but I don't think their size. Like last year, last year the problem was their size, and they didn't.
Well, I hope that your bracket does well, and I hope that our listeners had a fun time, even though we went about the same time we normally do in an episode.
And I hope that everyone realizes Chester Copperpot was an explorer in the Astoria, Oregon area, and he left clues in an attic. And I hope that no one ever completely redoes their attic. Instead, they lend themselves towards exploring, treasure finding, piratey fun, and I love you guys.
And I hope that our love of spirits lifted yours.
But she shows up with 2 Chuck E. Cheese pizzas, like, hubba what?
Hubba what?
This
Hubba,
is a 1
hubba.
Chuck E. Cheese pizza to what?